Sveiki.
Pas,
Labas.
ar pas visus viskas veikia?
Sveiki, ar girdit?
Mhm.
Labai gerai.
Testuoju, mane girdit?
Taip. Čia bandau įtilpti tą vaizdą su užrašais, bet nieko kažkaip. Tai apie jo, manau, kad pažiūrėsim, kaip su trukme, gal kokį pusvalandį užtruks, kaip kalbėsis. Dar biškį luktelim. Okay, so I guess we can start officially now. Hi everyone who is joining here or on YouTube. We're starting the game jam sessions to prepare, kind of to do like an introduction to game jam, which will happen this weekend from February 3rd to February 5th, from Friday evening to Sunday evening. This year the idea was to have several online sessions, online talks in the days coming to game jam, because in general this year global game jam is on this week basically. So I guess different sites are doing different connections different days. We decided to keep with the traditional Friday to Sunday spot, and I'll share a bit more with the schedule, and then afterwards we'll talk several developers, several regular participants of Game Jam about their experiences, what could they suggest, how to prepare for Game Jam, and just how it works for them best. So for now, let me show you a schedule quickly. One second. This one. Yes, hopefully it's working. So right now we are on the first intro day. Talking how it will happen. Then tomorrow we'll have a lecture from Nordcurrent, from their designer Andrea. He has this nice, well-researched topic about the concept of fun in video games, how it evolved, how can you create it, how can you address various questions regarding this concept of fun, and kind of exploring it in the games. When on Wednesday we'll have a talk from Arvidas from Estoti. He's one of the team leads, and he has this very well prepared talk, prepared session about differences and similarities between solo and teamwork. This talk will be in Lithuanian because it's like quite big and complicated topic with many different aspects. So in this case, I guess it will be a bit better to listen in Lithuanian. And Thursday, the last day, it will be the talk by several Wargaming Forge developers, and they are kind of. It's very nice coincidence that they are launching a new program, new courses on their Wargaming Forge. So they will talk about the two upcoming courses for game development, and then Friday, our like first day of the event for the regular visitors. I guess this is usual things, but hopefully some new people will join, and maybe if you haven't been for some time, it will be good to remember how it works. So we'll wait for everyone from 6 in different venues. So Vilnius, Kaunas, Klaipėda, Šiauliai, Panevėžys. All information about the venues is online on our Game Jam website. You can register on Eventbrite events. Also you can sign for Facebook events to have it in the calendars if it's convenient. Yep, and of course you can stay online. Everything is fine with that, but would be nicer to meet you live. So from 6 we start registration, check-in, and kind of getting around the venues. Then at 7 the opening ceremony with Global Game Jam video. What's happening this year. And then on Friday we'll try to talk a bit more in details what will happen during the days. Introduce some mentors, talk about this mentorship idea. Then we'll have some time to go in with different teams into different rooms depending on location, and just try to form teams or join teams if you want, brainstorm some ideas, share some ideas, and then who will want, we can do like this short quick pitches of ideas. I guess this is especially for the teams or solo creators who would like to join someone or invite someone to their team. Then we start jamming and continuing the jam for several days for the weekend. I know that there is already been a lot of talk about the 24 hours staying, but sadly this year it's still too complicated for us to offer it. We'll try to figure out the way to come back to this fully, all-night stay in the venues for next year. But this year we'll ask to leave for the nights and continue at home if that's possible. On full Saturday and Sunday, all venues will be open from the morning at 10. On Saturday, nothing like really extra is planned. Just screenshot uploading, and the recent tradition of couple of years ago, like this quick overview of what screenshots are uploaded, what can we guess from them about the games. So that's like kind of a bit light-hearted way to kind of close the day. And then on Sunday, the main things are the deadlines to upload the games, to upload trailers. We'll repeat several times this information, and at 4 we'll start with the kind of closing part, which is watching the game trailers, voting for most interesting, impressive games, and kind of finishing everything. So that's the more or less preliminary schedule. If something extra comes up, we'll add the information everywhere and we'll update on the daily things. And of course, you can ask questions all the time everywhere about everything related to the event. And so hopefully everything goes according to plan, and we can have a good time. And right now I'd like to give a word to someone from the creators to talk about their experiences. If you don't mind, I would like to ask Airidas to ping, because Airidas, I'm very grateful for them. They will be helping in Kaunas in the location, and they have, as far as I know, many times participated in various game jams. So if you can share some of your experiences, how it works for you.
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone, I'm Airidas. Basically, I'm a striving indie game developer and one of the co-founders of Moonleaf Studio. It's our independent little studio where we are trying to create our own original ideas and bring them to life. And basically, as Richard has mentioned, I'm participating in different game jams for quite a while now. I started since Global Game Jam 2019, and I have actually got hooked on it afterwards and participated in a lot of game jams. And throughout for 4 years or so, I have managed to participate in around 10 different game jams, which was quite a really interesting experience. And actually, some of those game jams were very productive, as for example, in the most recent one, which was the Global Game Jam 2022, we actually developed a small little platformer which won a scholarship from Nesnaus group, and we continued to develop the project even after the game jam, and in the future we are actually even planning to release it on different platforms such as Steam, Switch, and etc. And also the game is called Hub, if anyone is interested to checking it out. And so I think that's from my side about the experience.
A short interruption. The good news is that this year the scholarship will continue. Nesnau scholarship will continue. We will talk about it, I guess, during the opening a bit more, and in general during the game jam. So the guys who created it are quite happy, quite seeing the projects continue. And I just today I've also sent out newsletter with this news. And one more thing with the scholarship is that additionally to the scholarship as it was last year, there will be a new opportunity for those who want to apply for a Game Dev Camp mentorship program, like a long-time online kind of jamming courses, in the sense, with supervision, with mentors, with teams. So that's another cool news. We'll also share that during the opening. So, and Airidas, any quick tips how to think about it, how to think about this event, how to mentally prepare, maybe?
Yeah, so actually, I have quite a lot of tips, but I'm probably going to share only a few of those because we have a limited time here. So probably the most important ones they are most important ones for me, to be exact. And I'm always trying to stick to these tips nowadays before starting any jam or during a game jam. And so so first of all, before the game jam even begins, actually I like to prepare like different tools, like softwares, Git repositories, and basically everything that you will want to use during the jam beforehand, even before the jam starts, just to save that extra time. And especially if you are participating live in the venues, it's usually there's usually some internet problems because it's very slow to download everything. And then after actually in the development phase, I always like to remind myself that I need to limit my scope of the project because in my experience, it's actually way more satisfying to create like a short, polished game version rather than some kind of a demo of a really buggy or complicated feature because it's way more satisfying just to have a fully game, even a fully finished game, even if it's a very small one. And also, it's very important to playtest as often as you can because this is mainly just to know that your game is working properly and to avoid any issues like any game-breaking bugs, so that you don't need to break your head about it in the final hours of the jam. And also, it's probably the most repetitive one that almost everyone says, but no one really does, is that you need to always take some breaks because it's very well. At least what usually happened in my case was that I was working way too hard or way too much without taking any breaks when sitting on different tasks. And that usually led to burnout or fatigue by the end of the game jam, which was very unproductive for like the last few hours. And it was very difficult to do even the simplest of tasks because I was very tired. And during the final hours, I would suggest not to do any drastic changes, only like do maybe some polishing stuff, some sound effects and things like that. And you should always have a build ready before at least an hour before the deadline, because you still need to playtest the build and see if everything is working accordingly, and you need some extra time just to upload the build, because when everyone is uploading the build at the final hour, the internet speed usually goes even lower and the servers get overcrowded, and it's very difficult to successfully upload the game to the platform.
Well, yeah. Hopefully this year, as more people have mobile internet with big data or unlimited data, that will help a bit. We also have extra bandwidth ready in like this bigger locations. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, and also I just want to mention, like, the one this is probably the most important tip, is just to have fun and enjoy the process. Because it's not about the end result, it's all about the process and the fun you're having while making the games. So yeah.
We're trying to kind of put the attention away from this competition. Of course, people still compete. Doesn't matter how you approach it. But yeah, don't, I guess, not stress too much about the process and about the result. Mr. Barzda, I'll ask you. I'm not sure if you will need to introduce your name, but now I guess you're known as the developer with this name. Can you share a bit about you? I mean, you always worked alone in game jams, or you tried different setups?
Hi, my name is Davidas, or also known as Barzda. I'm senior developer at Tututunes, but also developing solo. And I checked that this year will be my 10th game jam, so it's
nice.
like anniversary. And for your question, the answer is no. I not always worked alone. So for first year, I participated in game jam in Kaunas because I started to work at Tututunes, and colleagues showed me this event, and we participated together. And also we have like members from audience who joined us. So for the next few years, the team was kind of mixed. there was times when I came to game jam and just find a team, like whoever sit together at the table, like we join the team. So when we create games, there was a times when we discuss at work, like who wants to participate it and build a team, went to game jam this way. And after many times working in the team, decided to try to make a game solo. There is like advantages and disadvantages to work alone and with team. Like when you are with team, so you don't have to make everything yourself, like art and programming and sound effects. There is like each member of the team like have a role and make his stuff. When you're alone, you have to do it all by yourself, so the game scope is limited. And sometimes the team is like consistent from professionals, so it's easier to make a game. Everyone knows what to do from the start and what to make. If there is like newcomers who participated like in first time in game jam and it's not in the game dev industry, so you have to teach them what to do. But it's also like a journey to pass your skills to others.
Which one, maybe you can remember and share which of the jams was like the most, I don't know, interesting or unusual?
I think the most interesting to me was first year when we went to Mažvydas library, because like the venue was completely different from previous ones. And also when I jumped from Kaunas to Vilnius game jams, the whole like audience, the participants number was huge in Vilnius compared to Kaunas. So that also leave a mark like in my mind. And came to, I think there was time when the game jam was in Mykolas Romeris University, and there was like 300 people, I think, participated in one hall. So a bunch of people with the computers like at one place.
Like a LAN party.
Yeah, like now in the library, there is different places and spots where then you can find teams working. So I think I kind of missed a bit that all the people is in one big place.
Okay, and how do you, how do you divide, as you are alone, how do you divide your focus, divide your work between different tasks?
So when I'm working alone, I first like have a plan what to do, what I need to do. Just like on Friday, I just make like mini game design document, write each part what I will need, what assets I will need, and I spend most of the Saturday creating assets for the game. And when I created like a bunch of assets that I think will be enough for the game, I start to programming, and I leave a bit of time at the end for audio effects, because I think audio is way more important than people think it is, and usually game jam games don't have any audio effects, and I think it's like a mistake to not like put a work in audio.
I guess, yeah, many people, as I probably in like a real production, they leave audio somewhere to the end. But I want to pay attention to the people who work with audio, because I already saw that some people are saying in this in our chat, looking for a team specifically that they can work with audio. So please, if you are, especially if you are working alone, I guess that's the good area to kind of outsource your work and ask for help for contribution from the audio guys.
Yes. If there is a team who is not don't have any audio guys, who grab that 3 guys, who wrote in the chats today, I think.
Thanks. On Mr. Onionas, then I'll jump to you. As I guess you have similar experience. I remember we chatted that you even kind of compete between yourselves as colleagues and kind of competitors. How does it work for you?
So I'm Martynas. Hello, everyone. I don't even. I'm actually not sure if it's true because we are colleagues at work with Barzda. I'm also working at Tutatunes as a developer, and sadly this year I'm not going to participate live in the game jam because I have to go somewhere else. So a bit sad because I really wanted to participate and get a little bit free wind in my workflow from basic development. So for now I have something like a tradition, doing a space game in a game jam. So last year I made a space game, and at 2021 I also made a space game, which was actually a little bit better, I think, than the last year. So yeah. About the tips, I really liked the Iridas tip about getting the build early. It's not going to happen, I believe, because there are a lot of stuff, stuff to do. So every time, the much time you have, but getting the build also always is a little bit tough task to get on time. So it's a bit it's frustrating, but and actually the last day should be like for trailer, but it when you have a scope of your game, it's always gets wider and wider throughout the game jam. It depends on the project, but the good tip was to have a limited scope and to have a small prototype, making a playable version of the game, and then polishing it. So I really like this approach, but it's very hard actually to have a sense of a scope, of a project scope. So I believe this is where a developer has to focus on during the game jam, not to get the scope too wide.
Yeah, and can I ask, you mentioned you have kind of your own topic, but how is it for you? How then you try to adjust it to each year's theme? Is it hard, or is it, as it's space, or anything can work in space?
I don't know. It depends. The last year was duality, so I just made a co-op game. Pretty obvious. I don't know, but in the 2021, it was the topic was I don't remember, but it was something about
home. Maybe it was home. No.
Yeah. So actually, it's pretty easy to make a space game about every topic. I believe that's where the creativity should kick in, and I really like this topic. I like space and astronomy, so I like to make a space game a year during the game jam.
Do you create everything from scratch, or you then as you have a broader team for yourself, do you use some kind of earlier ideas from other projects or prototypes?
For now, yes, because doing I don't know, I already have 2 space games, so I have a little bit assets already made for previous game jams, so sometimes I used them. Last year I used the astronaut model that I made a year ago. So, but mostly all my assets are made by myself, like 3D and UI. And actually, there are no many assets. So it's I'm trying to do like the game prototype, which requires as less assets as possible. So this approach works well for me, and yeah, so everything is done by me. But maybe this time, like in this game jam, I will try to do something remotely, like from the train or the plane, because I will be traveling. So I'm looking forward for this game jam.
Yeah, might be interesting experience. There are these, train jams or boat jams which are happening sometimes in the world. So you can share that experience later, I guess.
Yeah, so the scope I believe will be like 5 times less than normal. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Thanks. Thomas, I guess I'll ask you about the team, about the topic. How do you take into the consideration? Your last year's game was pretty amazing. You took like the duality topic very very like expressively and creatively. Can you share a bit more how you approach your process?
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Thomas. I work at Stoti Vilnius as a game developer, and same as Barzda. This is my 10th global game jam game. We'll celebrate this occasion, I guess. And yeah, for last few years we didn't work on site due to COVID and like the restrictions. Hopefully this year we can make it on site, because it's always quite fun. A bit smelly sometimes in the mornings, but it's all right. For me in game jams, the goal is to find the idea for a game that's as unique as possible, and it should be like the goal for me is should be fun to play for yourself. That's what I want to do, and I'm in my profession. I work on mobile games, and so game jam for me is where I can work on the games that are fun for me. It's like PC games and using like game pads. It's usually somewhere where you can find some maybe one or two mechanics and make it fun. And what also helps is the multiplayer aspect. Like you don't need to create some like AI enemies. You don't even need to create much of like level design or something. A lot of games just like you can figure it out. Like the game design is made by having the other players around, the multiplayer aspect. And of course, it's way easier to do like a multiplayer game played locally, and it's also like fun having see the other person react to you. And about last year's game, it was a game called Crabot, and I don't know, it's just how the idea came about. We were just thinking, me and the artist designer, and it just kind of think evolved kind of it. I think it would be nice to look at the like notes we sketch on paper, the ideas, and brainstorm how what can happen, and sometimes even the game can like not work because the Crabot is like a game about physics, about two people controlling one side of a crab each. One is a robot side and one is like a flesh side. And in my mind at first I imagined, you can walk, one player like rolls with one stick on the side, the other player does the other one, but it usually just doesn't work, and the like unity spring joints mess up and the crab flies around, but you keep on like adding stuff and tweaking the variables to make it like workable. Of course it's way easier to like the game is not really like that good if you go and play it, but if you are a good skilled player you can like at least get some good demo shots, and with those shots it's what I'll like explain is that it's for me I think that it's quite important to the this Lithuanian game jam tradition which we have is to make like this 1 minute video file and upload it and show it to everyone. But I think it's we have this competition here, but it doesn't need to be a competition. It's very good to keep it for yourself. I can go back 1, 2, 5 years even back, right, and see this video, see what I came up with, not just screenshot, but the video is so much better. You can share to your parents, to your friends, to your colleagues, and it's just like a very good reminder and very good keepsake. If you just make like a build somewhere or maybe make a few screenshots, you'll probably get lost. And if you have it on YouTube, you can come back to it in like, a minute. So good and so great. And that's what I recommend everyone to do, and really add more time and start earlier and add maybe some more work into the video, because you can cover up some of the game's mistakes. You can zoom in somewhere, you can hide somewhere, you can even make the like a game windscreen on the video if it's like faster for you. And you can always come back after game jam, and if you want to like release the game or just develop it a bit further, you can do that later. But if it's easier to do it on video, I would suggest everyone to do it there.
Yeah, thanks. We'll share more tips specifically about video, I think on Saturday, because we'll have just more time on our hands to kind of present and collect information of like the tools and practices, the features for the video. A question also for you, and maybe if others have some input. Do you use these diversifiers to come up with ideas, or they are usually not really needed?
Oh yeah, I wrote one of the tips as well to look at the diversifiers. They can just inspire some ideas, and I think even if you don't change anything in your game, you can just tick those boxes and still satisfying. Like, oh, like my game meets the multiplayer requirement and meets one screen requirement or something like that. But maybe it can also give an idea about just a direction of where you can throw your game in.
Okay. Paulina, I want to ask you. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I really wanted to invite Paulina because to give the angle of tabletop games. Because as much as we it seems that we always focus on video games, but all kinds of games are invited into Game Jam, and pen and paper or tabletop games are. I think it's getting more popular even in the last years. Maybe I'm mistaken, but can you tell about also the preparation and kind of the mood and the attitude, how to kind of get into it with real things?
Okay, so hi everybody again. Most of the time when I participated in game jams, I would be like making PC games, right? So only recently we started making board games like 2 years ago. I don't know, we made a board game one year before, so I think 2019. Then we made a board game, then we had like a gap or falling out, and then last year we had like a board game as I don't know. It happened that me and my friends just really like board games, so it's not like it was anything. It wasn't anything special that made us do this shift in game platform change. But we just really like board games, and we were like, why not make a board game? Why not try it ourselves? Something like that. And that's how it happened for us. It's really simple. We didn't have any professionals, of course. We just really like board games. So pretty much like that. And that's how we started making it. But for tips, I have a very almost like a side quest. So if anyone this year in Game Jam wants to start making board games or anything, so there's a side quest for you. If you don't know where to start, just go to a second-hand shop or a flea market, stuff like that. Get a game there, for cheap. Take those parts that you get from that game, and try to use it for game jam, because mostly what you need when you make board games, it's pretty much just pen and paper, because you're just gonna be marking out your ideas and drawing random stuff. But if you want to be like very specific, take small parts, so like cubes or like any, I don't know, I'm trying to think of it. Old cards, so for example poker cards, take that into game jam, because it's gonna be very easy to reuse them when you brainstorm like your game prototype. That's what we did before, and it really turned out great. If you have like old cards or like small stuff that you can use as meeples or like pawns or anything like that. So if you have some trash at home, take it to game jam and reuse it, because it's gonna work very nice for the prototype. And when I mentioned a side quest, also it will help if you don't know where to start and don't have any idea what the board game could be. So if you find, for example, like a old Monopoly, maybe that can be your starting point or something. So yeah, I don't know what else to say, because like I'm also just like a newbie at this. And it just happened that last year we got a very good match of people, and we created like our prototype that we still enjoy playing to this very day, and we're still working on it. So yeah. Anyways.
Thanks. Yeah, so I wanted actually to follow up about the team. You know, like with video game, I guess it's a bit more clear. How can you divide the roles and works in your team? But what about board games? How do you divide and define roles?
Mostly, yeah, it's way easier for like to decide on the roles when you make like a PC game, right? But for board games, it should be you could be a one-man army and just be like, if you can think of a mechanic that works, somehow make it into a visual thing, appealing visual thing. That's great. But of course, then if you want to make it really great, you're gonna need like real people that make designs and like art. Then if you have text in it, flavor text, that's what happened for us when we started making. We had 2 writers that wrote our texts, so that was very, very great, and they were writing concepts too. So like, but it's hard for me to say how to like figure out the roles. What you need pretty much just ideas and like a mechanic to make it work. Then, and if you can scribble something, that's great too.
Yeah, I guess then it's kind of more based on like a general feeling in the team, who wants to do what.
Yeah. At least for a game jam. I don't know. Well, also no audio, unless for the trailer. So, but that's...
Yeah, and it's audio, but you know, it's then somebody needs to be like operator, to cameraman, to film everything.
Oh yeah. For the trailer, you need a good operator. We were lucky because we had a good operator that actually knew how to like film it, and it made our game look so much better just because the person knew what she was doing.
Yeah, I remember your video looked really, really cool. With like this intrigue and kind of setting. Yeah, it was fun to watch. I remembered also a question, maybe, yeah, but both it can be I guess for board game it's always happening, but for PC, let's say games, prototypes, how early can you start to test it, to play test during your process? Can anybody share how you do it? is there like a set time or set like what's the word, like minimum features when you can start testing it?
Well, in my case, I usually just try to test it whenever I have like the basic functionality implemented. Like for example, the core movement, like shooting or something like that, and just trying it out, seeing how it feels, seeing if it's working correctly. Basically, I try to like playtest every time we do like any minor change, just to make it feel as satisfying as it can be.
Yeah, I could add to Iridus. So I think the basic testing should be like in the process. Like you code the feature, you like test it. If it works, it's good. You go to another feature. If it's not, you like code it again, fix the bugs, and that's how you go to the final stage where you like need to sit down and test the whole game if it works. Yeah, so I use this approach.
You put maybe, I'm trying to imagine. I'm not a developer, so for me it's a bit harder to imagine. But I guess it might be like very easy to kind of go deep into something you create and then forget that you need to come back to other things. So maybe, I don't know, some kind of timer would help or something that or set limit on the of time you work for each feature. Do you do anything, something like this?
The scope of a project is a timer. Yeah, so making a too big scope, making a scope very wide is what actually kills the game in the first place. So like making something simple and like doing the core. So then you can like add the other features that may or may not like improve the game. So yeah, I believe that choosing the right scope is where like you manage your bugs and everything. So making it too big, it's going to be like, I don't know, you won't get it on time or yeah.
Any other advice on kind of scoping your game, putting features, imagining how much will it take or anything else?
So yeah, I can add it. Like I think the most important is like to know what do you want to accomplish during game jam. Maybe you just want to make a cool mechanic, so you like put a lot of work on that mechanic alone, and just leave other parts of the game solid. Just make a video of that mechanic. Maybe it's the most fun part of your game, and it's not important to have complete game at the end of the game jam. For example, last year my game doesn't have actual ending. The enemies can't hurt your player, but in the trailer it doesn't show, and it was not important for what I wanted to show.
I guess thanks a lot. We had almost 1 hour, for 45 minutes, like a proper lecture. So thanks a lot for joining. Thanks a lot for sharing the idea, sharing tips, and hope to see you all live or online somewhere from the train. Please say hi from the train or somewhere. Record a video or something. I always like the thing when people share just how they create games. There is a gallery channel in our Discord. So it's very cool to see just how people work in different places. So please don't hesitate to share it, and just if you'll have time, please share some tips in the help channel. Might be useful for which you think might be useful for anyone. And just let's hope everything works well, and we'll have a good and productive time. So see you all on Friday live online, and for the lectures we'll come back tomorrow in the evening. Okay, then bye. See you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.